One of the most frequently asked questions on this channel is, where did the bricks used to build brick factories originally come from? At first, we didn't plan to make an episode about this topic because we thought the answer was straightforward and didn't require a full episode. However, with the increasing number of questions, we decided to dedicate an episode to it. Welcome! But before we start, if you're new to the channel, don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell so you don't miss any of our videos. Humans have been using bricks in construction for thousands of years. At the very least, the use of bricks dates back to around 7000 BC, making it one of the oldest building materials known to humankind. Back in the day, bricks were made from pure clay, left in the sun to dry and harden into solid blocks. The ancient Egyptians, for instance, were among the first to use this method. They used Nile silt and added straw to the mixture to make the bricks stronger and more cohesive after drying. Similarly, the Romans and the ancient Chinese used the same method. The only difference between civilizations was the drying mechanism due to variations in climate and temperature. In Egypt, the high temperatures made it easy to dry bricks under the sun quickly. However, in colder climates, the drying process was slower, and people had to dry bricks throughout spring and summer and store them for several years before using them. By 3500 BC, a discovery completely changed the game for brick production. People began to ask, why wait for the sun to dry the bricks when we can use fire to speed up the process? They started doing exactly that, and the concept of brick kilns emerged. These were places where clay bricks were stacked in a specific way, and fires were lit to speed up the drying process. This not only accelerated production but also made the bricks stronger compared to those dried under the sun. The Romans took it a step further by inventing mobile kilns. These could be moved to any new location where they wanted to settle and build structures. Roman bricks typically ranged from 1 to 2 feet in length, 30 to 60 centimeters, with some reaching up to 3 feet. Bricks came in various shapes: circular, square, rectangular, or even triangular. They even stamped their bricks to identify them. Romans used bricks extensively to construct public and private buildings across their empire. They built walls, fortifications, cultural centers, vaults, arches, and small bridges over waterways, among other structures. During the Roman Empire, brickmaking spread from ancient Rome to the rest of Europe. By the 12th century, countries like France, Germany, Sweden, Denmark, Finland, and Russia were producing bricks. By 1611, bricks had crossed the Atlantic with Dutch and British settlers to Virginia, USA. By 1855, bricks had become widespread across most of the world. However, brick production was still manual during the Middle Ages. Workers would mix brick components by stomping on them with their feet. Sometimes oxen were used to trample the mixture. Afterward, the mixture would be shaped, cut, and placed in kilns to dry. With the advent of the Industrial Revolution, manual methods disappeared, and machines were introduced to brick production. These machines handled everything from mixing to cutting and drying, significantly increasing production capacity. Instead of producing 500 bricks a day manually, machines could produce over 12,000 bricks daily. Later, other machines emerged with the capacity to produce 25,000 bricks per day. As a result, bricks became the preferred building material in many countries, even in areas where stones were abundant. Bricks were faster, cheaper, and made from readily available raw materials. Their versatility and durability made them an essential component in construction across different eras and regions. So, how does this all lead back to our brick factory? The story of brick factories is a fascinating one, deeply rooted in history and tradition. The answer is simple, really. It all starts with the humble beginnings of brickmaking. The very first brick factories were constructed using the same materials and techniques that had been honed over centuries: hand-shaped, sun-dried, and kiln-fired bricks. These methods were passed down through generations, preserving the craftsmanship and skill involved in brickmaking. These early factories may have been simpler than their modern counterparts, but they represented a crucial step forward. They were the foundation upon which modern brick production was built. They paved the way for mass production, making bricks more accessible and affordable. This shift allowed for the rapid expansion of cities and towns, as bricks became the building blocks of modern civilization. And so, the cycle continued. Each generation built upon the knowledge and techniques of the previous one, refining and improving the process. Brick factories, built with bricks made by hand, began to produce even more bricks, fueling construction and innovation for generations to come. This continuous cycle of production and improvement has led to the advanced brickmaking techniques we see today. The next time you see a brick building, take a moment to appreciate the long and fascinating journey of this humble yet essential material. From hand-shaped beginnings to modern marvels, bricks have truly stood the test of time. After this historical overview, answering the initial question becomes very simple. The first bricks used to build brick factories were made manually and didn't require a factory to produce them. Bricks can be made from materials found in nature. Once made, they can be used to construct walls, buildings, and even the brick factories themselves. For example, let's imagine we're in the middle of a desert with no bricks around, and we want to build a brick factory. The first step is to find the raw material needed to make bricks. Since we're in a mountainous area, finding this material is easy. We'll look for claystone, a type of fine-grained soil primarily composed of hydrated silicates of aluminum or magnesium, along with other minerals like quartz, mica, feldspar, decomposed plant residues, and some organic materials. Claystone is abundant and easy to find. In fact, clay and claystone make up almost half of the sedimentary rocks on Earth's surface, which is why they are widely used in construction. Once we find claystone, the next step is to crush and grind it to achieve uniform, fine particles. Then, we'll mix it with sand, either manually or mechanically, until we have a smooth mixture. After that, we'll add water to the mixture until it becomes soft and pliable. We'll leave the mixture to rest for a period of time, usually 1 to 7 days, to undergo fermentation. During this process, water spreads evenly between the clay particles, breaking them down into finer particles and making the mixture more malleable. Once fermentation is complete, we move on to the shaping stage. Using wooden molds, we'll pour the mixture, level the top, and leave the molds in the sun to dry for 1 or 2 days. After drying, the final stage is firing the bricks. Bricks can be fired using various methods, in modern metal kilns, in sealed chambers with burning fuel like diesel or gas, or even in deep pits filled with bricks and set on fire. Regardless of the method, once the firing process is complete, the bricks are left to cool in the open air. After cooling, they are ready to be used in construction. This process outlines how red bricks are made anywhere. Notice that we didn't mention factories, walls, or buildings at all. All you need is an open space, some raw materials, and fire. Interestingly, brick factories can be built entirely from metal without the need for bricks, as the critical components, such as kilns and machinery, are usually made from metal. And that's it. Who made it to the end? If you did, you're awesome. Give this video a thumbs up so we know how many of you made it this far. Also, don't forget, if there's a question that pops into your mind late at night and keeps you wondering, drop it in the comments below, and we'll make sure to answer it in a future video. See you next time.